Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and welcome to the Daily Scan for Thursday, December 4th, 2014. Well, okay, here's the thing. The ADP employment report came up a little short yesterday. Productivity and costs pretty much in line, maybe a slight increase in productivity. But here's the thing, is that kind of what I'm seeing is, moderate improvement, moderate optimism in the economy here. But as far as payroll is concerned and jobs in general, it's not so good. Actually, people are losing money. Their money is not going as far as it used to. But, on the other hand, things like, gas prices are pretty low. So everybody's feeling pretty good, depending on what day you ask the question, I guess you could say, is when it depends on the type of answer that you give. A lot of people, and me included, sometimes say, well, how do I feel right now? Well, right now I feel pretty good because I just got paid, or, I just maybe paid off a loan, or, maybe my wife just had a baby, or I just got married, or I just met a new person that I really like. There's so many things that depend on that people, we just don't think overall a lot of times. We just answer for them in the moment, which is the way that society is right now, I guess. So that's where it depends. So it's like election day in the U.S. It's how do you feel that morning when you get up? It's who you're going to vote for a lot of times. A lot of times that's just the way it is, I guess. Anyway, I babble. Let's take a look at today. We have jobless claims. Typical Thursday announcement, and that is it for today. Tomorrow, not much there either. We get the November unemployment report. They call it employment situation, but it's really, everybody knows it as the unemployment number, the magic number. What's it going to be? Without looking at the underlying data. So just be careful with this one, because a lot of it is based on phone interviews and not on facts. So are you looking for a job? Then you're unemployed. Oh, you gave up looking for a job? Then you're no longer unemployed, even though you're not working. But anyway, I'm rambling, aren't I? Let's take a look across the palms. Asia, looking pretty bullish there. And oops, wait a minute, that's not Asia. I clicked on it but didn't do anything. It does look very bullish. Whoa, those are some big percentages there. And in Europe, moderately bullish, except for the FTSE 100. Now, I want to read this article here, because I'm always looking for, when's the next big move down in this continuously climbing market here. So I want to read that one. And there's a couple other articles on here that I might be interested in taking a look at. So let's see what's going on here. All right, we'll bring up the big four. Okay, we're looking at a positive open. So ES overnight was, it's like bumped up a little bit lately. Gold has been just kind of hanging in there right now, consolidating at this time. Oil, choppy. Pretty choppy. Looks like it might be making another move down. And the VIX is back down here in the basement, although that's really not the lowest level of the building. It's pretty low. And we'll look at here. So oil's at 67 actually for a real number. That's pretty low. The dollar's at 88.98, and against the euro it's at 123.1 or 123.2, I guess you could say. So still gaining strength against the euro. Over here in my account anyway, LinkedIn, it's in a little bit of trouble, but we still have a couple days on that. We're not going to worry about that for right now. We're counting on it continuing its trend. And SPX, we're looking at collecting some data there. We're looking at $3.91 a day. And we'll take a look at how that order looks on the chart when we get to it. Right, first one up the bat is Apple. Messing around with this morning, sorry about that. There we go, that's a little bit better. Okay, so Apple is looks like it's making a nice move back up. Could possibly take a look at this for a 20 delta, just because we didn't quite get down here. We didn't meet all our qualifications, but it is in an uptrend. It did have a pullback. We have a nice flag here. So if we were to show that as a flag, we would say here's the flag pole, and here is the flag. So that's a nice bull flag right there. And we like to see it. Okay, so we can arbitrarily draw lines, but we could say if it breaks up above this, that's when we would be interested in doing something with it. So I'm going to put it down for 20 delta. Alrighty. We had Amazon down for 20 delta yesterday. I was not interested in this. This is also a bear flag, but it's already a little long in the tooth because the moving average rolled over almost immediately because of this huge move down. Did it do the same thing on Apple? And I could have done this quicker. Yeah, it did roll down. You could call it a turnover. So Amazon looks pretty much the same, only it's not recovering. It's still in a setup. It is, no, it's not in a 20 delta setup or a 50 delta setup because we had this. I'm not interested in this as a 20 delta anymore. I'm a little bit concerned about maybe a new trend in the downward kind of direction, I guess you could say. I've been looking at these intraday charts, and they're starting to look pretty interested for some very short-term 50 deltas. I should look at that, maybe pay a little bit more attention to that. But the problem is you kind of have to be here all the time. And I'm not one of those sit in front of the computer all day kind of people. Boeing, we had set up here for a 50 delta, and it's still in a setup mode. I would still call this a setup if we get a move up here today. So I'm going to actually alert this if we can get it above yesterday's open here. Okay. That looks good. So we have an alert on there now. But it's not an alert, but it is a setup. We don't have our double green. Baba, we're just still watching that. Baidu. We have a target set up here. We're going to wait for it to get there. Chipotle, have you give me any clarification yet? It's sort of a break, kind of broke below this support level here, possibly. We'll see if it continues down. I'm going to put a target up here. Oop. And we'll shoot for that. We're assuming that we are in a new downtrend. Costco. I didn't have them on. Okay, we're looking at a target down here. Take a look at the Dow. I think it had a new high yesterday. Yes, it did. So it broke out of this. So it's like consolidates and then break out and then consolidates and then break out. To read that article on Market Watch. Gold, choppy. Google, target set here. LinkedIn. Okay, so this is our 50 delta here for this week. It's we'll have to see if what it's going to do over the next couple of days. It still hasn't really, didn't close above the previous day's open, so I guess if you're going to throw excuses out there for being in this trade, that would be my excuse for being in this trade. May have been a tad bit late in getting in on this. Should have gotten in on this day. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. But still looking, I'm not, my confidence has not been shaken in this, so I'm pretty sure it's going to work out. Technically, anyway, it's looking good. NDX, we were looking for a hook up here on the MACD. We didn't get it. Still, I'm putting it back on the list today for basically the third day in a row. And let's see what happens. Netflix. Are we really in a downtrend here? I don't know. This is a really nice looking flag. So we're in setup mode here. Again, this is a bear flag, right? Excuse me, and that's how they're drawn. So that looks pretty sweet, I have to admit. So let's go in the setup. Price line. Ooh, nice move down there, price line. We have a new trend here. Yeah, we opened here and closed here, so yeah, that makes some sense. Alright, we have our target up here. We're just waiting. Russell, it's a little choppy for me. A little choppy. I mean, yeah, you could say, oh, you should have jumped in on this. Well, yeah, but it's looking a little choppy. Which direction do you jump in on? I suppose you could do both, but then you would get burnt. So I need a trend. I need a trend like this one. That's a nice trend. Okay, so how are we looking here between where we have our line on 12.3 and here it is on 12.4 and has nudged up a tad, even though if we were to take a look at the Analyze tab, even though it's saying here calculating the profit at 49.30, when we look at the account page, it's up 20 per the close last night. So this is based on anticipated opening today. This is really goofy here. some goofy numbers because the market is closed. So we're not getting any fresh data. But it's interesting to note here that our line is now here. So we'll put a new line in. Let's go to a price level here. I'm going to do this offline here. There, I added a new line here, a new color with a new date. So it's going to be fun to watch this. But I do like that it's moving in the right direction, of course. Who wouldn't like that, right? We like to see things moving in the correct direction. Yeah, it's looking pretty good right now. Okay, moving on, Tesla. Yeah. Are we going to get a flag here? Maybe if we get a flag, we might come up here and get an entry. Visa. In an uptrend, a nice uptrend, moving very smartly. I have to move this way over. Okay, well, I can't see anything else to take a look at this time this morning, so that is it. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and happy trading.